My name is Khut Whee Mul Uhk. I come in peace. My name is Dr. Francis Horne Sr. My father is from Lummi, down in the U.S. My mother is from East Saanich, Syóys Reserve. I've been over here for the better part of 50 years now, over on the mainland. I started out with Simon Charlie in 1972. My brother was taking a course. I've been carving since I was about 16 or 17, but when my brother started taking this carving course, I would go there and watch. Eventually I started picking up and watching and taught myself how to carve. Simon was a very, very great inspiration for us. He was so innovative and he had so many great ideas, and he was an incredible artist. I didn't really know how to draw when I first started out 50 years ago. I would go to the museums, I would go to the galleries and study what they had, and then I would go home and make my own version of it. Growing up, we were taught not to cry, so I would do very intricate masks with tears coming down, like crying out bear cubs or a whale spirit crying out. As time went by and I learned how to heal, I realized that I didn't have to do all these. I did tears because I wasn't allowed to cry. That's why I did these tiered masks. I love it. I've been doing it for many, many years now. But the ideas in that, it comes from nature, it comes from all around us, being around the water, being near the forest, being near the animals. One thing I love to talk about and I love to teach about is the water. A lot of people don't understand the water. I was taught by an elder, you go to the water and you'll find your power. He taught me, you go to a waterfall, you'll find your power. I had no idea what that meant. I was a very young man and I had become a member of the Longhouse at 21 years old. And that same year, that old man left that teaching with me, and I didn't know what it meant until at 51 years old, I went back, I went into the mountains and found a waterfall. And I was suffering from alcoholism. And I went and bathed in that waterfall, knowing that this water actually saved my life. It steered me in the direction that I needed to go to heal. So when I do healing work, I steer people in the direction of water. Indigenous art is about the spirit. In our culture, everything has a spirit. A lot of our people refer to our life. Our lives are in comparison to salmon, how they've overcome so many obstacles to get to where they're going. When I came up with this idea, it was the plight of the salmon. And it was something that was very disturbing because they were disappearing. Nobody could figure out why. So one day I was down at the river, and where that salmon there was biting the tail. That's what I witnessed. I witnessed the dog salmon doing that. So when I came up with the design, I put the tail in both mouths, the female and the male. And in our culture, they're also guardians. We have an eye watching us. That's what this represents here. In other words, we're being watched by the Creator. And it's important that we pass the message on to the younger generations that perhaps they might find a solution to what's going on, and hopefully that they're being taught in a good way, in an environmental way, to recognize that the environment is very precious to us. But most of all, we need to protect the water. We're warned when things aren't going right with nature. But as I was building my career, I had noticed that education was key to really building a career. So for me, because I'm largely self-taught, I found that people that had their post-secondary, they built their careers a lot faster.
Right.
So it was very interesting to watch that. For us, in our home life, in our native life, as we get older, we become knowledge keepers. The knowledge isn't here, the knowledge is from the spirit, in our spiritual brain. That's what it's all about as we get older. When I work with people, and I get to lecture in that every once in a while, and you can teach so much. I'm allowed to teach so much. But then when I'm working with my homo students and that, I can go in depth with them. There's only so much there, you know, hands-on learning in that, I can teach that, like carving, things like that. And then hands-on learning in the culture is a different thing again altogether. So I mean, we're always careful because the knowledge that we carry isn't meant for everybody. Well, you know, in our culture, we're taught that everything has a spirit. Everything has a spirit. So you wonder what attracts people to art. If you look in all the different mediums like oil painting, acrylic painting, weaving, everything, carving, everything. What we do when we make things, we take our spirit and we put it in there. That's what attracts people. So if you're having a hard time in life, there's people around that are having a hard time in life, and it talks to them literally, the spirit, but they don't understand why they find such a fascination with it. Or if you're a happy person and you put that happiness into whatever piece you're making, doesn't matter what it is, that spirit talks to somebody, literally. That's how it works. When I was very young, I could crank out bowls, crank out art pieces. A piece like this I could do in no time when I was very young. But then I wasn't putting my spirit into it. We were taught a long time ago, I learned through Simon Charlie, to be humble. Always be humble. Never to talk about my work and say I did this or did that. It's always about being humble because, you know, the work speaks for itself wherever we go because it has a spirit all its own.